Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Rachel, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about all the books that I read in the month of October. October was an absolutely insane month for me. I was gone for the first full week of the month, so I didn't read anything, and then when I got home, I was suffering from severe jet lag because we went to Hawaii and it's a 6-hour time difference, so that was a struggle to adjust back to North Carolina time. So I didn't get a lot of reading done the first 2 weeks. I was like, I'm not going to get that much done. So I relied heavily on audiobooks this month, which is totally fine. It still counts as reading. I had to clean and decorate and do all this stuff because we had this big Halloween party and everything just seemed crazy this month. So again, I just listened to a lot of audiobooks. I read 1 book on my Kindle and then I read 2 physical books, but everything else was just audio. So let's just jump into what I read this month and how I felt about it. So the first book that I read this month is Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. This book I think I gave 3.5. This one actually had something happen that was very, very triggering to my health OCD, and I really struggled with getting through the book, but also not freaking out about what was going on in the book, and I'm still kind of like having those intrusive thoughts about that topic. So I have to be super careful with like the content that I consume, whether it's books or movies or whatever, because I do have some OCD. I definitely have some health OCD, and then I start having intrusive thoughts and we kind of go down a spiral. So I felt like October on its own is a hard month, but then reading this book right off the bat in October, it was triggering for me. So honestly, I think it was a decent book, but for me, I couldn't give it higher than a 3.5 because I was so triggered by it, but that was a me problem, not the book problem. So I do recommend, if you like thrillers, check it out. It had a very interesting plot. Like, it was something that I don't feel like a lot of people have ever done before. Basically, this girl has to solve her own murder. Very interesting. Definitely check it out if that sounds interesting to you. It was good, but again, I have health OCD, and this specific thing that was happening in this book is something that is very triggering to me in normal everyday situations. But then reading it and being constantly reminded that this is what this character has, it was hard. So I gave it 3.5. It was a very interesting plot. Next up, we have That's Not My Name by Megan Lally, I think is how you say her name. I read this one on Kindle Unlimited. It was really good. You have 2 different like points of view going on throughout the book, and then it like comes together. But when I was reading it, I was like, oh, I know how this is gonna come together, but not at all. Completely wrong. So very like it just was not the ending that I expected, but it was really good and I did really enjoy it. I gave this book 4 stars because it was very good. Next up, I listened to The Locked Ward by Sarah. I'm not really sure how to say her last name. This book, I wanted more from it. It kind of felt a little boring. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't the worst book ever, but I had expected more from this book, so it was kind of a letdown. But basically, I don't want to give the whole plot away, but this woman is in the psych ward, and her twin sister she's never met, didn't know she had, she reaches out to her revealing that they're twins, whatever. I think all that's covered in the back, like in the back page of the book. So she has to help her sister who's been put on this psych ward, and there's a lot of stuff going on. It wasn't super memorable for me, so I don't know if I'd recommend it. I don't know. I wanted more from that, honestly. All right, Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This book I gave 4 stars. I listened to it. I think I listened to it in like 2 days. I was hooked. This story, I don't even remember our character names. I'm just gonna be real with you. I usually forget character names pretty fast, but this one had this woman who was trying to travel home, I think for the holidays, I think is what was going on. I don't remember. But anyway, she was traveling home and she gets this ride with this other guy from her college campus, but she doesn't really know much about this guy. And there's like a college campus unaliver on campus. And so she goes with this person that she doesn't really know, and I'm like, red flag, red flag, red flag. Why would you, knowing that there's somebody out there unaliving other students and you don't know this guy, why would you get in the car with them? It's always a red flag for me. Why are we doing this? But anyway, so she goes, and you know, I don't want to give the whole twist and everything away, but it's just very stressful because she's like in this car and she starts to realize that this guy could be the guy that's going around unaliving people, and she has to like get away from him, but that's difficult to do when you're like in the car with somebody driving down the highway. So it was very, very good. Very intense. It gave me the spooky vibes that I was looking for. I listened to The Perfect Stranger by Megan Miranda because it was available from my library. So I was like, why not? I need to do a lot of cleaning. So I just listened while I was cleaning. This book was fine. It wasn't like anything amazing, but it was fine. It was fine. It like had like some twists and whatever. And it wasn't honestly that memorable to me. I mean, it was fine. I gave it like 3 stars, but I was just listening to it, you know, nothing crazy. The next book that I listened to, and I am so disappointed that I listened to it instead of reading it, because normally with Frida McFadden books, I read the entire book in one day, the day it releases. However, October was such a crazy month, and I was just like, I don't have time to sit down and read this, but I want to listen to this book or read it before the month ends. So I listened to it. I think the audiobook I did not enjoy it. I did not like our characters. I did not like the person narrating it. I honestly think I would have enjoyed it more if I had read it. We all know with Frida McFadden, her books are not like amazing. They're fine, they're fun, but they're not like amazing books, you know? So I don't know. I think it was just the audio. I think I would have had a more enjoyable time reading it. Let me know. What were your thoughts on her new book this year or this month, because I just didn't love it. All right, then I read 2 short stories, or actually listened to them because they were part of the Alibi collection on Amazon. So you get it with Kindle Unlimited, and then you can listen on Audible if you have both. And so you can listen on Audible for free because it's on Kindle Unlimited. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, honestly, I don't even really remember these books. They were just so like not great that I think I ended up giving them both 2 stars, which is, I don't really rate things that low, but they were just not very good. But they were also short stories, so I'm not really sure what I was expecting. Then I read The Sundown Motel, and either this one or Survive the Night were my favorites for the month. This one was so good. It's not the same storyline as like the movie Psycho or the TV show Bates Motel, but it definitely gave me those vibes, which when Bates Motel was on, I watched that every single week. I loved it. It was such a good series. I miss it. I want something else that gives that same vibe. But this definitely gave me some of those vibes. It's a very different storyline, but it still gave me some vibes that I liked. So anyway, I read this. I read most of this, and then I ended up switching to audio because I was just like, I don't have time to sit down and read. Clearly, I was struggling this month with sitting down and reading. I just did not have the time to do that because I had so many other things I was trying to do. But this one was so good. I highly recommend it. It just so good. But definitely read it during spooky season. I think it's gonna hit differently during spooky season. Oh, I also gave that 4 stars, I believe. All right, and the last book that I read this month was actually a major disappointment for me. I read Soul Searching by Lila Sage. So I know that this wasn't supposed to be a thriller. It was supposed to be like a romance, but with like ghosts. And I was like, I could get down with that, like ghosty vibes and like a ghost town. You guys, this book for me, and this is not a slam if you liked this book, okay? This book for me just felt incredibly slow. Like nothing was really happening. I felt like we were getting a bunch of backstory that we didn't necessarily need. And then when the 2 main characters finally get together, it's like insta love. And I didn't feel a connection. I didn't feel anything for them. And so I was very disappointed with that. And I also just felt like there could have been more to the ghost storylines, but we were focused on this romance that just wasn't happening. And I don't know, it took everything in me to finish this book, if I'm being honest. Like I had no desire, when I had the time to sit down and read, I had no desire to pick this up and read. So I don't know if it was just me or if other people felt that way. And like, I feel bad even saying that. And maybe some people like this, and I hope that's the case for you. That's great. I've never read a Lila Sage book, so I don't know if this is like her normal. Like I wanted to read her, was it Done and Dusted series or whatever? Or maybe that was the first book in a series. I don't know. I wanted to read that, but after reading this, I just don't know if I don't know. I should probably give her a fair chance because I think this was very different than what she normally does, but it didn't hit for me. It didn't hit for me. I think I gave this 3 stars because I just hate to rate stuff low. There were parts that I like had fun with. And then there were parts where I was just like, why? You know? I felt like this could have been at least 100 pages shorter and it would have been fine. Like I felt like a lot of the book was just dragging and that made it difficult for me. So anyway, yeah, it wasn't my favorite. What can you do? So that is it for all the books that I read in the month of October. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to tell me in the comments below what you guys read for the month of October. What were your thoughts? What did you like, dislike, all the things? Let me know in the comments and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.